Um, I think that in more recent years, I've really drawn on the support and strength of people I've met through organizations such as Tigers in STEM, which is a campaigning group set up in the UK a couple of years ago to try and improve the research culture in the UK in terms of EDI. And from sort of being almost like a founding member of a group of people of about sort of 30, 40 people in Tigers in STEM. We all kind of had a common objective, and it's really great to sort of meet many people from many disciplines, most of them in the sciences, quite a few in the social sciences, all acting to try to, make the research environment in UK a better place. And I think, when I really started doing my own kind of EDI work, that was a huge kind of like source of inspiration and strength. Personal wise, my own academic support networks being my partner and friends, as well as colleagues and friends in my research group, the Environmental Change Research Centre, and also actually in the Department of Geography in general. UCL Geography have been so supportive of my career, almost all the way throughout, apart from the hiccup towards the beginning. But that can be easily forgiven.
My family, the very anchorage of my life, my husband and my children, my parents and my brother, they are always very proud of my work. So that's very motivating. Supportive colleagues and line managers from whom I learned a lot and continue to do so. So that's another support network that I have, and I really value that. I would especially like to mention my PhD supervisor, Professor S.V.S. Murthy, and postdoctoral collaborators, Professors F.M. Stewart and F.B. Jones.
Yeah, I think the most immediate support you have is from family and friends, because you've got to balance your work and family life. And if you don't have that element of it, it's hard to thrive. If you don't have the family element of it and the friends element, it's quite hard to thrive in the work bit. And I say that as somebody who isn't a workaholic, right? So somebody who's a workaholic may only require their work and that's the stimulation they need, and that is their family, right? Their colleagues, and their work is their love. But I'm not like that. I need to have family and friends. So I'd say, the support and the allowances my family have given me in terms of, going away to do field work, or as an academic having to travel for conferences, or, the flexibility that the academic job gives you is a gift and a curse, right? Because it's a gift in some way because it's flexible. So this morning I went for an hour-long run with my wife in some amazing fjord just south of me here in Bergen because I could. But then the negative side of that is academics will work all night and could work all weekend and then damage themselves mentally and physically and lose their friendships and family, right? So, you have to kind of balance those two things. And for me, it's, the family bit's been really important to allow me to handle the flexibility with care, to handle that flexibility appropriately. I think, if you're talking about work support and some of the support networks there, it's kind of, family, work family, so colleagues and people who you're sufficiently close to there. Not at all to talk about the work, I don't think, because I don't think the work is what, I get troubled that I'm not smart enough and I can't work something out, and I always have done. But I think, being able to say that to somebody, the person who you could go and say, I am uncertain of myself about this thing in terms of my professional life and my research or my personal life. So it's having that extension of your support network in terms of the personal bits of your life that allow you to succeed, having that in work as well. And some people would argue against that, right? They'd say that work just needs to be work and home needs to be home. But I think there's a unique understanding of some of the challenges of being an academic that some other academics are aware of, right? And so it's useful to have them within your support network and not just to go and ask them hard questions about science. I need more than that from people.
So being transgender in STEM can be very, very isolating. So together with a trans woman in the US, I actually founded a network called Trans in STEM, which is particularly for all people studying and working in all the STEM subjects and who are trans. And it's been really great to see because, as I say, you usually feel quite isolated when you're trans. So there's nobody else at my department, at least amongst the staff, who is. I know a couple of people in the on the faculty level, but it's still quite a few. Whereas when we founded the Trans in STEM network, we now have over 160 members who are all trans and all work or study in STEM. And that's pretty cool to see because there's actually other transgender paleontologists out there, which I didn't know. And in general, other transgender scientists. And it's great to have sort of that community to help with. Similarly, sort of finding other transgender staff and students at the university has helped a lot to feel a little bit less isolated. And obviously, I've been really lucky to have my supportive parents and a supportive PI at work and lots of friends and transgender friends sort of outside university and in my private life that I hang out with and do stuff with.
Well, starting off, I was really into ocean conservation, and I was lucky to meet Dr. Ayana Johnson in DC when she was at the Waite Institute. And she is the one who offered me my first internship. And I can absolutely say, without her, using her position and the relative power that she had to help lift up another woman of color, that was incredibly meaningful. And I know she continues to do that in her career with so many others, and I try and do the same. So you've always got to make sure after that you pay it forward, right? And that you remember that once it becomes a little easier for you, now you've got to make it a little easier for someone else. And otherwise, support networks, all of the, I joined like any like women's group or Black women's group or, anything specific to my interests that I can find, I absolutely join it, because being around like-minded people who are, doing amazing things, it only helps, right? Like you learn so much and you get more confident in who you are and what you believe in, and in your role, again, as the cog in this very large machine.